gegen Dirk van Dien wurde durchgesetzt. Im PDC-Ranking liegt er aktuell auf Platz 58. Meine Damen und Herren, Ladies and Gentlemen, hier ist the Spider, M.Webster. Er matcht sich mit einem Mann aus England, 29 Jahre alt. Heuer war er bereits im Viertelfinale beim Masters, im Vorjahr im Halbfinale bei den European Championship und hier in Graz ebenfalls im Halbfinale.
Didn't wait for the strains of Don't Look Back in Anger to die down before he was throwing his first set of practice starts. Welcome back to the Steiermark Halle here in Graz for continued coverage of day 2 of the Austrian Darts Open. Stunning win for Darius Labanauskas in his opening match against the number 15 seed Ricky Evans, the finalist in Hildesheim, on his way home after a 6-3 defeat by Lithuania's number 1. And in our second match of the day, we have Joe Cullen, a man who believes the Euro Tour brings out the best in him, up against a good friend, M.Webster, who set the ball rolling very nicely indeed yesterday with a 6-1 defeat of Dirk van Dijvenbode. Some very neat and tidy finishing at times yesterday from Webster, a man who is looking to maintain his place inside the world top 64, and a man, of course, who has had his fair share of woes over the last 16 to 18 months or so. Rob Larkey watching this one alongside Paul Nicholson.
Game on.
Yeah, this will be a good game. There's going to be no shenanigans here. These two guys know each other very well. This is going to be a straight-up darts match with a lot of specs. It's interesting to see Webber using a slightly small stem. He, throughout his career, has used
77.
a medium stem, which is a specific length, but this one is a little shorter. I think maybe he's just trying to get a bit of extra speed in the air. That's probably why he's
things and get the practice starts throwing. These two did have a bit of time to wait around backstage, by the way. We have, we did have a slight delay in between matches 1 and 2, but we're up and running once again.
140. You require 100.
One way 0.66 by pitches, and he'd not played on the European tour since then, so I think it was important for Webster to come back in, hit the ground running, and he was on the verge of another 6-0 win of his own. Fell just short of that particular goal, but 6-1 did very nicely indeed.
Yeah, very good bounce back after. I think he said on social media he's never seen anybody outscore him and outplay him that much in his career, and that is some compliment to David Chisnell. Well, that's how good the performance was. We'll see a bit of David Chisnell this afternoon in a rip-roaring game with Nathan Aspinall. But Joe, he's rebounded well. Here he got 70 left. And that leaves 24.
123.
So he can't reply to the $15 of his own, but he will be back as Mark can't leave himself in the finishing one after.
He's going to hand Cullen more opportunities at double 3, but it's an old one for Joe.
You can understand why he was tentative going to double 3 there, because if you split it and leave 3, then you're put yourself in a corner. But that's a much more aggressive start from the rock start. That was a very good shot.
Game on.
Just going back to Webster's performance against Chisnall, by the way, or that particular tournament. I mean, ahead of that tournament in Hildesheim, he spoke quite candidly and quite openly about how he was really disappointed with how he'd not really made the most of the opportunities on the European tour. He still, at the time, harbored hopes of qualifying for the World Championship, but he still imperative that he qualified for more of the European Tour events. Now, obviously, that did happen last year. He failed to qualify for Final 3, missed out on the World Championship for, I think, the first time in a decade. And again, at the start of this year, it's all about how Webster would pick himself up. Because it had been some time since he'd not been involved at Ali or at the World Championship. And he could actually stem back to that defeat by Paul in the 2018 World Championship as the moment when it all started to unravel for Mark Webster. He strikes me, I mean, you know him very well, he strikes me as a very philosophical sort of guy, a very level-headed character who doesn't really let those moments bog him down too much. It's hard work trying to pick himself up, but he's still in that process, but he seems to be moving in the right direction again.
Yeah, he's always trying to look forward as opposed to looking back. And the way he tends to forget about things is he uses comedy. He likes to be a bit of a loon in the practice room, and Joe's good company in that respect. They bounce each other really well. But Joe, he's in the driving seat in this one. That's 2 of those for
114.
And Webster, obviously a great student of the game as well, given the media work he's done as well.
He's got the pedigree. He's been to a PCM final, of course, lost out to Kevin Payne at the Players Championship finals, but had that World Championship in the bank. Double 14 is in the bank for Joe. He's got an early break of throw. You've got to say that Joe's the more experienced Euro Tour player, even though Mark is a good 5 or 6 years older.
45.
That's a good 45. Bad 45.
Well, I mean, I said the point, or made the point at the start of this match that Cullen, I mean, he said it himself time and time again, he believes the Euro Tour is the stage that brings out the best in him. He's made 2 semi-finals and 7 quarter-finals on the European Tour stage since the start of 2018. He was a semi-finalist here last year in Graz as well. He lost 7-6 to go in Price, and I remember his reaction after that. He was absolutely sick as a dog. He was so annoyed with himself, very angry. Made the last 4 here made the last 4 of this tournament in 2017 as well, when it was held in Vienna. So he clearly likes this place. But he just, I mean, we keep on asking the question every time: when will Joe Cullen become a European Tour champion? Seems to have the game, seems to be knocking on the door. He's gone close time after time after time, but always just seems to fall short.
I think at the moment there's probably less pressure on Joe than there was this time last season.
100.
It was almost expected that he would go deep this time last year, but at the minute, because his form is not as good as it was 12 months ago,
59.
maybe he's just skirting under the radar a little bit, which is probably easier for him. But I remember 12 months ago, it was not pleasant. The state he was in after the semi-final, he was very upset. And he was sitting probably
82.
20 yards from where we're sitting now, in a chair with his head in his hands,
Yeah.
and you just couldn't go up to him. He was devastated. But maybe coming back here, if he can get a win against Mark this afternoon, a friend of his, that'll just get rid of some of the demons.
Well, chance here for the break of throw for Webster. He now needs the treble for the bullseye, but he's missed his target on that occasion. He'll be hoping to return, and he will be hopeful of returning. Cullen will allow Webster to return, looking at 72 for an instant break back.
58. Mark requires 72.
He looked at the 40 at first. He does prefer double top if he misses the treble. Tops it is.
52.
Short. And these are the kind of finishes that Joe really bobbles up when he's playing well. That is a perfect first start. Giving himself the shot at double 16.
80.
He's just shy. That only lacked
Mark requires
one
20.
tiny little bit more power, and it was right in the middle. Left-handers love double 10. Is that too close? The answer is no, and the experience tells him Webster, not the best league in the world, but it's vital that he broke it back.
Just saw those minor incremental shifts in his body positioning on the off there. That was really good, intelligent play by Webster. Really most of those 2 darts. It looked to be something of a hindrance, but it to his advantage.
121.
Two big Man United fans here, of course. They have travelled to the continent with each other. I think they went to Portugal once to Man United. I think it was against Benfica. They went with Alan Warren Little as well, who's also a big Man United fan. Hence the red shirts.
57.
Don't talk to these lads about Liverpool.
No.
100.
Well, Webster was the 2-1 outsider with the bookies ahead of this match. Cullen 5-2 on favourite. The reward on offer for this one, by the way, is a third round meeting with either Darryl Gurney or Boris Koltsov.
Yeah, they're contrasting midweeks as well at the Protoss. Mark had a couple of first round exits against Darius Slavinauskas, and well, you know that one of the reasons why that happened because Darius is playing really well this week, and the other one against Harry Ward, who is a fabulous young player. But Cullen had a first round exit of his own against Richie Adhouse in a tight 6-5 game on Tuesday. But on Wednesday he got to the quarters where he lost to Stephen Bunting. But 74 for Joe. He can just lay up for tops now, 51. And he has to hope that Webby doesn't find another 130 checkout this weekend.
On the cusp of another
30.
Reprieve for Webster.
25.
Where will Mark go for this? He may go 1 for double 12. Yeah. 2 12s. Great shot. And by the skin of his teeth, he holds it with his throat. Sometimes you just think you're getting a little bit fortunate with your opponent missing doubles.
96.
Cannot be ungrateful. It doesn't happen very often.
You mentioned, Joe, in that early defeat in midweek in the Pro Tour. He has now suffered 5 first-round defeats on the Pro Tour this year.
43.
Now, on the flip side, there is some good news for Joe Cullen in that he has already this year made 1 semi-final and 1 quarter-final on the Pro Tour. Only had 2 quarter-finals on the Pro Tour in its entirety last year, so you know, it was fair to say that Joe Cullen did comparatively much better in the TV events than on the floor, which in turn was in stark contrast to what he did in 2017. So on the flip side, he has sort of emulated what he did last year, but he is, for a player of his calibre, I feel that many would also agree that he is disappointing in far too many of these Pro Tour events. And I think, to some extent, I think he'd admit that himself.
Yeah, I think you would as well. I think the foundation events have been a source of discomfort for him since he won his first 2 Pro Tour titles, which were on the floor, and they came very close together. But since then, it seems like he's lost the knack of constantly winning his board. When he gets through first game, he tends to have a bit of a run. But I think the biggest problem for Joe Cullen on the floor tournaments right now is getting out of the traps. It's getting out of that first game. The double 12, 3-3. And more missed doubles, and he's starting to shake his head a little bit. He will be back.
Yeah, he will be back. I mean, he does have a really good habit of winning his opening matches on these Euro Tour events. Just 2 defeats in his opening match last year on the Euro Tour. 3 third-round defeats this year, though. And he's up against it here. In this leg.
Got it at this time.
No score.
And Webster has a gilt-edged opportunity for another break of throw, and this would open up a 4-2 lead. It would give Webster daylight. 48 away. And he's moving in. And that is very, very neat and tidy play indeed from Mark Webster. He has another break of throw. 2 break to 1 he leads. 4-2.
Contrasting emotions on stage right now. It's awkward when you're playing with friends. It really is. I know we're all individuals playing darts, but sometimes when you're playing some of your best mates, it's very difficult to feel that you're aggressive enough. I've played Mark myself, who's one of my best friends, on the Euro Tour stage. Played him Sindelfing when I made a run to the final. I played him in the quarters and it was
60.
just so uncomfortable for me. I didn't enjoy it.
Well, this is the 8th meeting between these two, although it's the first since the summer of 2016. They've never met on the Euro Tour stage before.
100.
All the previous 7 encounters were on the Pro Tour, and it's Cullen who leads the head-to-head standings 4-3. So very little between them as far as that's concerned. And like I said, I don't think we should read too much into it, given the most recent meeting was 3 years ago almost.
Yeah, lots happened in those 3 years. Joe's gone only one way and it's towards the top 16 in the world. And Mark
57.
is undoubtedly scrapping for his tour card this year. It's going to be tough. He's up for it. He knows what he's got to do. He's got to qualify for these. He's got to sell her on the floor. And when he gets opportunities like this, he cannot squander them. The equivalent of winning today is like winning your first 2 matches in a Pro Tour. Winning the first game for £500 and then the next one to take you up towards 1,000. So by winning this one match,
60. Mark, you acquire
it's so much easier. But then again, when your opponent is having a frustrating day like Cullen is, Webster is not showing much emotion. He's trying to be stone-faced.
74.
That deflection into the treble one was not needed there. Even a single 20 would have left him on a 2. Easier to dollar.
121. Mark, you acquire 77.
Tops then for Webster. But only 1 dart, and it was not
Joe, you
enough.
acquire 102.
And Joe Cullen is now looking at 102. He's now looking at 82. And he finds the treble 14 to leave tops.
82.
And Webster breathes again.
Just missed doubles in his match for Joe. It's been tail to tape.
Yeah, 2 out of 16 for Joe Cullen.
Webster still lost at 10s. Bridge in his hand and he gets it. I don't think that dart was plumb in his fingers. And he readjusted on the fly. But did it brilliantly. And now if Cullen wants to get through this, he's going to have to win 4 straight legs.
140.
Yeah, and he's averaging, well, the problem is he's averaging 86, but the average has been really dragged down at times by his finishing 2 from 17 on the checkout. Webster far more proficient, 5 from 12. The missed starts at double 6 and leg 5 really were a turning point, I feel, in this match. It gave Webster the opportunity for the second break, and he's really made most of it as well.
93.
This is now the biggest test for Mark. It's to get over the line. These are the hard legs to win. When you've got this lead, you think to yourself, I've only got to win one more leg.
Yeah, there is all this expectation now on his shoulders. He's got to deal with that. The crowd will be sensing perhaps this one is almost over. Webster knows that as well. And he's still got to satisfy that side of the equation.
82.
It's never easy. We have seen players falter in this situation. Michael Smith and Stephen... Steve... I keep saying Stephen Beaton. Steve Beaton and Michael Smith on the way next. Just to remind you.
I'll say one thing for today's lineup. I cannot remember a tastier menu than this. Tonight's session is borderline ridiculous. So much quality. So many great rivalries. And that's even without this afternoon, which has some great games. Not gonna go for, oh, he's going to go for the ball. Had to. Mark left himself on a finish.
Yeah, that's a nod of respect from Webster as well. The fact that Cullen was aware that it could well finish on 167. You never know. Mark Webster may well finish on 167. To be.
Give it a great goal.
Joe, you acquire 25.
And he has missed doubles in this match, but he cannot miss now. Gets it this time, and that is a clutch double from Joe Cullen. Keeps him in with a shout, but it's only a hold. This is the big leg for Mark Webster. He's going to do this with a vast amount of stress. This is the leg to do it in. The last thing he needs is Joe on his heels.
Yeah, all of a sudden the break here makes it 5-4. Cullen potentially holding for 5-5. We are getting maybe a little bit ahead of ourselves, but Webster will be well aware of the fact that Joe Cullen is still very much in his rear-view mirror, and he can't quite shake him off just yet. And Webster all of a sudden seems to be finding the trebles very elusive indeed.
93.
1 out of 6.
Good switch. His first start has been letting him down a little bit in this match. There's nothing wrong with all three there from Cullen. It's the pressure on.
Well, all that timing, we've said that on many occasions on the European Tour in this first of 6 format.
59.
I mean, Joe Cullen had a very similar encounter against Glenn Durrant in Munich as well, when he was in all sorts of trouble.
65.
And yet he still managed to come through with a late surge. And there are parallels here once again.
Maybe Cullen is drawing from that experience, and he's saying to himself right now that
56.
he can't do anything but be aggressive. If he's not, he's going home. He would love to leave double 80 at that.
60.
But that's all right. Mark's not really found any scoring in this leg.
It's very similar. M.Webster is doing what Durrant did. Durrant just had to pull a little bit in his shots in the closing stages, and Cullen just really sensed that Durrant was beginning to lose his way, and I think this is an alarming parallel. It really is, bearing so many hallmarks of that one, and Cullen all of a sudden 5-2 becomes 5-4.
All of a sudden he can't miss.
108.
Wow.
Webster's got to be aggressive himself on that 60. Got to give it everything. Great reply.
137.
Mark has been juggling. Playing Seattle. The game wasn't even enough. The means wasn't playing. You have seen players do that. John Part is a great example. He was juggling tour duties with working with the networks. Interested to see what the energy levels are like for Mark. He's got a young family, of course, to look after in North Wales, and he has moved house in the last 12 months. He's had a very busy time of it. But double 16 for Joe to take us all the way. He's got time on his side.
35.
He's going to need it. Well, that's still 4 from 23 for Joe Cullen. He's not quite eradicated these problems with his finishing, but he has got a little bit in hand, or more than a little bit in hand, although Webster looking to just apply some pressure once again, and he's precisely that. However, it could be too little too late as far as this leg's concerned, because we are going all the way in our second match of the day here in Graz. Terrific fight back by Joe Cullen.
Mark Webster, make no mistake, would gladly have that 180 back and stick it in this leg.
Because it's all about timing.
Correct.
180 in the previous leg doesn't really count for anything.
You might not need it. Fantastic from Webster. That's what you call solid experience used.
But Joe Cullen is
137.
looking to go toe-to-toe. Well, a 14-dart break, a 13-dart hold throw. Joe Cullen seemed to be moving in the right direction, but can Webster just kick off again in the closing stages in this? In hand at double 20 for a 6-5 win. And Mark Webster withstands the pressure, and you just have to sit back and applaud, because Mark Webster was in all sorts of bother as he saw his 5-2 lead whacked away by a brilliant fight back by Joe Cullen. 14-dart break and a 13-dart hold looked to have given him the initiative in this one, but Mark Webster came again, and Mark Webster, the outsider for this match, has seen off Joe Cullen, and we have lost another seed. It's 2 from 2 who've fallen by the wayside, and Webster goes through to round 3 on the European Tour for some time, for the first time in a while, and he'll face Gurney or Koltsov in the last 16 tomorrow. Terrific performance by the Welshman.
Mark, congrats. That was quite thrilling, wasn't it? It was
It was a bit of a mess of a game. If I was going to beat Joe Cullen here tonight, it was if he didn't perform and he didn't perform, and I took my chances. Yeah, I did that. I'm pleased with that. So that's the way I play at the minute. I'm not playing too great. I felt really nervous playing in that game. I don't know why. When it went 5-all, I expected only one outcome. Really, I wasn't feeling good, and I pulled. Was it 11 that leg? I don't know where that came from, honestly. But no, I'm really pleased. I'm enjoying it. I don't know how many European tours, Pro Tours I've left. I'm going to enjoy myself for it this year, and hopefully I'll keep producing results.
Eine unglaublich intensive Partie hat er gemeint, das war es tatsächlich. In der Mitte hat er dann einen leichten Hänger gehabt, aber ab dem 5:5 hat er sich wieder richtig gut gefühlt und gemeint, die Partie, die wird er biegen, und das hat er dann auch tatsächlich gemacht. What do you think about the crowd today? Or a bit more people than yesterday?
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, I played a bit better yesterday, I promise. no, it's
War ja gestern auch schon da, da waren noch ein bisschen weniger Leute da. Jetzt hat er gesagt, sensationell. Das kann ich nur bestätigen. Geben wir ihm noch einmal einen Applaus mit auf den Weg, meine Damen und Herren. M.Webster.